Right. So
Hey, guess who's back? It's your boy Shanahan's, your boy Boulevard, and we are back in the building. Guess what we're gonna talk about today? We're gonna go over that crazy Thursday night game. With the with famous Jameis, the famous Jameis show. We're gonna go over your starts and sits for the week. We're gonna answer some questions. We're gonna call out shots, and then we're gonna let Garfield give us his kicker of the week and sleepers. We're gonna try to hit you with some sleepers. So with that being said, we're about to drop this intro, and we're gonna do it right about.
You're now about to witness the strength of fantasy football knowledge.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Avengers Podcast, starring Kyle Shanahan's, Boulevard, GQ, and GI16. And now, here's the boys.
I normally start this off with the AEO, but I think I want to start this off today with mustard. Hey man, Kendrick been having me yelling that shit since yesterday. Bro, could you imagine just walking into the studio? Like you just walk into the studio, you just chilling, you just hear somebody yelling out, mustard!
No, no, that's fucking hilarious.
Now I think I want some mustard on my glizzy. Mustard and ketchup on the glizzy.
I got that spicy brown shit.
Right. Put some Dijon on that.
Hell yeah. Nothing better than that Grey Poupon.
Boy, real men if they're gonna use mustard, it's Dijon. It's either Dijon or it's the honey mustard. Honey mustard.
Love it.
Yeah.
Put that shit on everything.
Everything. Let's talk about that Thursday night game, the Snow Bowl. It really wasn't a lot of fantasy points going around. Really wasn't a lot of fantasy points going around for that game. But it was an enjoyable game. I think.
Yeah, in the long run, it was. Yeah.
I think
it turned out to be worth it.
Yeah. I think the only people that really got something out of this, fantasy wise, Jalen Warren. If you started him, he gave you some points.
Mm-hmm.
Chubb scored 2 touchdowns, had 50 yards on the ground.
Those touchdowns saved those touchdowns saved, like, that wasn't a great game. I mean, fantasy was fine. He had the 2 touchdowns and 6 points, but the yards per carry was shit.
Yeah. But I expected that, which is why I didn't start Chubb. I said, okay, this is gonna be a bad game in bad conditions against a very tough defense. I really didn't. I was like, you know what? And Chubb is still coming. Chubb is still trying to work his way back from the injury. So I'm like, yeah, let me not start Chubb. So now I feel foolish for having 19 plus points sitting on my bench.
I'm gonna say this: my favorite football game is a snow game. To be in it, to watch it, it's a total separate experience. To be on the field in a snow game when it's snowing like that, it's ethereal, man. Like, it's like, yeah, I can't even describe it. It's like a dream. Just the way it just floats around you as you do. It's beautiful.
I 100% agree with you. 100%. As a guy who has played in snow games as well, I 100% agree.
Love it, man. That's the best.
I would not want to be in the stands watching a snow game.
Absolutely not.
Like, being on the field and playing, it's a whole lot different than being in the stands and watching. Because while you're on the field, your energy, your adrenaline is helping you to, heat your body up. You know, you're doing a lot of running around, so you're not going to be as cold. I mean, it's going to be cold, but you're not going to be as cold because you're running around, your adrenaline, your energy, you know, it's heating your body up. As a point to watching it in the stands, you'll be freezing your ass off. I'm good. I'm good on that.
Wasn't there somebody with no shirt on in the stands?
It's always somebody with no shirt on in the
always
stands.
one dumbass in the crowd. Always is.
Always. It's
like, what's
always.
wrong with you, man? Like you trying to get pneumonia. You trying to die.
Yeah.
You
trying to die for a football game. For a football game.
Even that serious. They're not going to pay your medical bills.
Right. It ain't that serious. It will never be that
really
serious.
Ain't.
It will never be that serious.
No.
If I know it's gonna, man, if it's cold, it ain't even gotta snow. If it's cold outside, if I'm looking at the weather, or it's 30 degrees outside, I'm bundling up.
You're damn right.
I'm about to be in here for 3+ hours. I am bundling up.
This ain't even a hard decision.
At all.
Yeah. It's called common sense, man. You out there shirtless. It's like a damn snow globe. I don't know what the temperature was. I imagine it was cold-ish.
Right.
Like something. So, boy, a whole idiot. I'm
telling
you one specific dude who I saw on who they showed on the game with no shirt on, looking like a damn fool. You know who you are. You're an idiot. I hope you ain't get out of bed the next day because you felt like shit.
A whole idiot. But as another person that kind of ate in this game a little bit, Jerry Jeudy, 6 catches, 85 yards. Is Jerry Jeudy a thing now?
Oh my God, I was so happy for Jerry Jeudy.
Is Jerry Jeudy a thing now?
I hope so.
Are we looking at Jerry Jeudy for the rest of the season and saying, hey, we can start this guy now?
Jameis Winston and Jerry Jeudy, I am all for it.
Yes, I'm all for it. I am all for it. I like seeing redemption stories in the NFL. I like that. I like seeing redemption stories because we all thought, hey man, Jerry Jeudy just ain't it. We all thought that. But now he's starting to show something. I'm here for it. I am totally here for it. The Browns beat the Steelers in an upset, which we really shouldn't be looking at as an upset because they did the same thing to the Ravens. It seems like the Browns can beat their division. They just can't beat anybody else.
Yeah. That's AFC North.
But I don't think the Browns are out of it yet.
No, 3-8.
They could win the next. They could win the next 6 games.
They could win a few. They could win a few. They could have a run.
They could definitely have a run and be in contention for a wild card spot, just depending on how the rest of the AFC shakes up.
Broncos, Steelers, Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, Ravens.
All winnable games for them. If that defense realizes its potential, and Winston can be Winston, those are all winnable games. And if Chubb can come back into form, it's definitely all winnable games for the Browns.
Yeah, the question is, they beat. I mean, the teams they lost to, for the most part, they were solid teams outside of the Giants and Raiders. So
the question is,
Eagles, Chargers.
The offense is alive now with Winston under center.
I know that's true. Preparing another half of the season, and now it's a totally different season at this point compared to what it was, say, 3 weeks ago? Now it's a totally different roster. So, yeah, we got to look at it differently. And I guess that slipped my mind, but we got to look at it differently now because it's a different team. They're more motivated. Their quarterback isn't a fucking dead weight holding them down.
Right.
He's actually excited, and he's got them excited, so everybody's feeling good. So yeah,
it's a lot of energy in the building now. So the question is, where do we go next year? It's no way possible you can bring Deshaun Watson back.
Absolutely not.
It's no way possible. I
can't imagine the team even gives him another chance at this point.
Do you go with the Jameis Winston experience next year, or do you draft a guy?
You could do both. I mean, you could hold off a year, but you could do both. But considering, let me check something. The record is 3-8. So they'd be in position probably to draft a quarterback, or they could probably draft something else and go with Winston and hope that at least carries them to a higher number, higher win total.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could go ahead and train his replacement. I personally would go with Winston for a couple years. That way, if you end up in the middle, you're still building talent up. You're at least establishing a culture there, which they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
They can't expect to turn around a franchise that's as historically bad as they are. It needs to be a total change.
Yeah.
So, even the defense is solid. We've seen the roster. There's talent there, but there's just maybe it was all Deshaun Watson's fault. Maybe it was.
Yeah, because we saw what happened last year.
All this I'm talking about is based on with Deshaun Watson.
We saw what happened with Flacco stepped in last year. Yeah. They went to the playoffs.
Yeah, everything I'm talking about is Deshaun Watson. So I'm just going to pin on him.
Honestly, I would have not loved Winston. I love Winston, but Flacco took him to the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I would have jumped off of the Flacco train if I'm making decisions over in Cleveland, because I'm looking at how the offense responded versus having Flacco in there versus having one. It's sometimes where you got to understand where you made a bad financial decision, but the decision that you made to start this guy that took you to the playoffs, like, okay, I understand you trying to get your money's worth out of Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson is not the same Deshaun Watson.
Right.
You're hurting your franchise by putting this guy on the field.
Yeah, that's bad optics.
Yeah.
Flacco got him there where they were trying to get to as far as he could go. As far as that roster could really go, even today. And they let him go. That's bad optics. That's a bad look for the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally bad look for the franchise. You got to the playoffs. This was your first playoff appearance in how long? And you let the guy go that got you there. I know the fans. I don't know many Cleveland Brown fans, but I know the fans had to be pissed about that. They had to be, because they watched Deshaun Watson in practice just like everybody else watched Deshaun Watson on the field. Deshaun Watson just looked like it's not up here no more. Like it's gone up there. It's gone up there. Yeah. It's like he lost. It seems like he lost a step. Can't figure it out no more. Or maybe he just don't want to be in Cleveland. Who knows? Or yeah, it could be all of the above. Could be all of the above. But for some odd reason, you got to understand when you made a bad financial decision, got cut bait. I'm not saying that you got to cut him, but sit his ass on the bench. Sit him on the bench. The purpose is to win football games, not try to get what you can out of a guy that is hurting your franchise.
Right.
So, like, are you trying to win football games, or are you trying to show that we didn't make a bad investment? What are you doing? I don't give a damn about making a bad investment. I want to put all my resources where the wins are. If I made a bad investment, it is what it is. Can't do nothing about that. But what I can do about is getting the right people on the field that's going to help us win games. That's what I can do about it.
It seemed like the Browns, I don't understand, aren't they like one of the poorer franchises in the league? So they
like that.
As much as they did in watching, I could see if I really squint why they would do that, like why they would continue to invest in them to try to get something back for their buck. But you just cut your losses. You already fucked it up. It's not going to change, and
Not going to change.
It's not
It's
fair
not
to
gonna change.
everyone else on that roster to wait around while he tries to figure it out.
Right.
So,
right. It's not going to change.
He
He's
got
not going to change.
injured and had surgery. So
And you're going to bring him back.
To go home.
And you're going to bring him back next year.
They better not. They're going to lose that whole damn team.
Probably. Probably. If I brought him back, like however long he got left on that contract, if I brought him back, he wouldn't see the field. He wouldn't see the field. Like I don't care what the meat. Like we've all seen how bad Deshaun Watson has played this year. There should be no stories in the media about, well, they got a $230 million quarterback sitting on the bench. That should not be a story.
Oh, somebody's going to run that angle. Motherfuckers are definitely going to run that angle. Try to sound smart, like they slick.
That should not be a story because we got enough sample size of Deshaun Watson in Cleveland to understand why that $230 million quarterback is sitting on the bench. We know why, because he's trash.
That's not a puzzle. It's not a mystery.
Right.
We all saw it.
He was damaged goods. Damaged goods.
Now you said they're gonna bring him back next season. Now, considering the way they did Flacco, what if they do the same thing to Winston and don't bring him back? Like, where does that leave them?
If they don't bring Winston back, somebody's going to get a really good backup QB next year. Winston deserves to start for a team like Carolina. For a team that messed up at the QB position, and they need a spot starter, and they need somebody that can put some offense on the field. Winston deserves to start for a team like that.
Maybe a team in Jacksonville, probably.
Yeah, somebody like that. Somebody like that. He deserves to start. Like I wouldn't want Winston to go somewhere and be a backup quarterback for a top 10 QB because he's never going to see the field. Right. I want Winston to get on the field and play. I want to see Winston play.
Right. Like, put his ass with a rookie or one of them like fourth tier ass quarterbacks.
Yeah. Like Winston is must-see TV. I love Winston, bro. Like Winston is always entertaining. Anytime you see him on TV,
I want more Winston interviews. Absolutely.
Yes. When they put a microphone in Winston's face, you already know something funny about to happen. Love Jameson. Love like Jameson Winston. Love Jameson Winston. Well, let's get into these starts and sits right now. You got them pulled up? Get the games pulled up?
Wait. No. Hold on.
I'm gonna give you a second while we play the graphic.
Starts and sits of the week.
You off the field. You on the bench. You on the bench. You off the field.
All right. Our first game of Sunday has the lowest over-under of 39.5. It's Minnesota at Chicago. Minnesota 3.5. Who do you start? Who do you sit?
Battle with two good defenses. In Chicago, I'm only starting Swift. Swift is the only one I have confidence in. And even then, they're trying to like take a lot of his goal line. Why do people always do that to Swift? Everywhere he goes, they don't never want to give him goal line carries.
You don't believe in him.
Like Swift always has to hit those 45-yard TD runs in order to get his TDs.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand that. Like if I had a weapon like Swift would be getting goal line carries. I'd be or I do in the rounds with him in the on the 1, 2, 3, 4 yard line.
Right. I mean, he's got
get creative
for a running back. He's got good weight for a running back.
Get creative. Get creative.
I know, yeah. But I don't know. I don't think
Minnesota.
they believe in Swift. Maybe it's something they know. Maybe he just can't be the guy in goal line packages. Maybe.
I'm going to start Swift every week because Swift puts up really good fantasy football numbers. And Swift is probably your third or fourth running back. So, yeah, I'm starting Swift.
Mhm.
I don't believe in Williams, and I don't believe in any of the skill position players. So, especially not against this defense. Of course, somebody's going to score, but I don't think I believe in them enough to want to start anybody. As far as Minnesota goes, of course, you got to play Jefferson, even though
Absolutely.
I think the defenses have figured Jefferson out.
Mm.
What they're trying to do is now they're doubling Jefferson to take him out the game and forcing Sam Darnold to go elsewhere. So that works if in the favor of Hawkinson, because Hawkinson is the elsewhere he can go. Jordan Addison had a really good game last week with off of one play. Don't believe in Aaron Jones. I don't believe in Aaron Jones.
Fair enough.
Aaron Jones he's always been that one player that start the season off hot, middle of the season, but then he finishes the season strong. So he could pick it up anytime over the next couple of weeks because we're approaching the end of the fantasy football season.
Yeah, that would almost mean you want us to invest in them as fans, as players.
Yeah, I wouldn't start him this week, but are we starting Sam Darnold?
Well, I'm in three different places. Like Sam Darnold against the Chicago defense.
Yeah.
I mean, we're starting Jefferson.
We're starting Jefferson.
I mean, for some quarterback, some player out there probably has the combo of both of them, with Darnold and Jefferson. You want them to start to double up.
I'm actually starting Addison in the league because there's a lot of buys this week. So I'm starting Addison.
True. Good Lord, man. It was rough today when I was trying to set my lineups.
Hey, man.
Rough.
I hate that they do these late season bye weeks. And it's even worse. It's even worse because in the first round of the fantasy playoffs, there's a lot of buys.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of buys. I think Baltimore is on a bye.
So, week 14?
Yeah, so the first round of the fantasy football playoffs.
Baltimore's on a bye. Oh, man.
Right. You're not going to have Henry. You're not going to have Lamar.
Ooh, there's going to be some upsets.
Yeah, it's going to be some upsets. So if you got Lamar, or if you got Derrick Henry in your league, you better hope that you get one of those two top spots. So you can sit that bye week out.
Ooh.
You want to buy, they want to buy.
Yeah, I can't wait to discuss that.
Yeah. We'll try to figure out how to navigate around all that.
Yeah.
So
this is the place to go for that.
So what's the next game?
Detroit at Indianapolis. This one is tied for the highest over-under of the day at 50.5. Detroit by 7.5.
I can see that.
And don't forget clean underwear.
Because I don't want the funk to flow. And after I'm done, you gotta go. Don't you know? Don't you know? You can tell we hip hop heads, bro. Because a lot of y'all don't even know where that came from.
I have no idea.
That's from Black Sheep. That is from Black Sheep. But yeah.
My first official No Skips album.
Yes. If you haven't heard me say this before, Black Sheep or Wolf in Sheep's Clothing is probably one of the most top 10 most underrated hip hop albums of all time, because it's a classic that people don't talk about.
They don't.
It's a classic that people don't talk about. You know how geeked I was when Imani Coppola, when she posted that on her Facebook account, that it was one of her favorite albums of all time. I was like, I knew this girl knew music. And I think that's when she like tagged me to talk about like my most underrated albums.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, I knew this girl knew music. I knew she knew her music.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Funniest thing was I had a conversation with her brother on one of her posts. The brother that had the cameo on her song.
Mm-hmm.
You need some time. I'll see you next week. Anyway, back to this game. We could talk about music all night. Let's back to this game. Downs. I'm starting Downs. I think Downs has officially taken over the wide receiver 1 position from Pittman. Downs he's quarterback proof. He's quarterback proof. It don't matter who's in there, he's going to get his numbers. So I'm starting Downs. If you got Taylor, you have no choice but to start Taylor. Taylor has had a rough couple weeks, but Jonathan Taylor's always that one guy that's one play away from winning your week. So you got to start.
And you can't have that many options at running back this week.
Right. So you got to start him. We saw Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, my gut says no, but I
guess we have to at this point.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. But
in 1 QB leagues, I'm probably not.
Yeah,
in two QB leagues, you kind of have to because everybody else is on a damn bye this week. He's always good for at least 3 touchdowns. A combination of maybe 2 in the air, 1 on the ground, or 1 in the air, 2 on the ground.
Richardson,
Richardson, because he will vulture. He will vulture Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. He will vulture Jonathan Taylor. That's probably one of the reasons why Jonathan Taylor's weeks haven't been as big because my man keep taking touchdowns away from him on the goal line. That was always the one thing I was worried about. And that was kind of the one thing I was worried about in Baltimore with Lamar on the goal line. Is he gonna vulture Derrick Henry? And thankfully, that has not been that big of a thing. However, out in Philly, that is a thing.
Oh man, yeah.
Like Saquon Barkley's season could be so much more if the tush push was not a thing. Because you got to look at Saquon Barkley. You got to believe this guy can break the plane on the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
You got to believe it. You got to believe it.
There's no doubt.
You got to believe it. It's no doubt in my mind he could break the plane on the 1-yard line. It's no doubt in my mind he could probably jump over the pile and score a touchdown. Saquon is a hell of an athlete. So it's no doubt in my mind he could probably jump over the pile and score.
Nothing
Detroit.
You just said is wrong.
Detroit. I guess you start everybody, including Goff.
Yeah.
Is Laporta back? Is Laporta back this week? Or is he still hurt?
Let me check my sources. Google. 2 hours ago, USA Today says, I'll see if I'm going to say nothing. Here's the latest. He was a full participant in practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so I'd assume so. Yeah.
Okay. So you start everybody.
Agreed.
Scotty.
Especially, again, those running backs.
Yes. I'm going to tell you this. Going forward, I'm drafting both of those running backs if I have the opportunity going forward. Because you can't go wrong.
Right.
Like, they're going to feed both those running backs. And I'm not mad at it.
Redraft would be crazy.
Yeah.
Fantasy football, that would be wild.
I'm not
'Cause
mad
now
at
you
it.
got like drafting stashes. As players got injured, they on IR for 4 weeks. You got all sorts of strategic moves you can make if you had a redraft at week 8.
You know what? I think we should do one of those.
Mm,
We should do a redraft.
I like that.
We should do a redraft.
Mm,
with everything that we know of how the season is going right now. We should do a redraft on one of these episodes.
hell yeah, sure.
I think we're gonna curb that for next Saturday's episode. We're gonna do a redraft next Saturday, y'all. We're gonna do a redraft.
Okay.
And we're gonna put together the toughest team at this point in the league. The toughest team we could put together. So did we talk about we talked about everybody. Yeah, you start everybody in Detroit. If you got a piece of that Detroit offense, start it. Start it. Somebody's gonna score.
Hell yeah. Almost there, everybody gonna eat. So
Yeah.
it's Thanksgiving. It's almost Thanksgiving anyway.
Yeah. What's the next game?
Next game is New England at Miami. Miami plus 7.5. Well, by 7.5. OU 46.5.
This game kind of worries me. But hold up. Kim, is this officially a bum bowl? Is this a bum bowl?
No, I feel like there's a worse one. Hold on. My brain. Isn't it? Wait. Never mind. That's Thanksgiving. Never mind. That's next week.
So this is a bum bowl.
Yes, this is our Bumble.
Let's get ready for Bumble.
I do think it is.
It's crazy. If you would told me last year that Miami would be in a bum bowl, I probably would have looked at you crazy.
Right, with that offense.
With that offense, yes. It just goes to show you from year to year how things can change. Because last year, that was the most potent offense in the league. Last year, it was the most potent offense in the league. Matter of fact, the year before that was probably one of the most potent offenses. So yeah, but of course, you can start for the Patriots. You can start Drake May. You can start Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
Don't know if we can start Bourne just yet.
No, Jalen Henry, no.
Yeah.
He's shutting somebody down. So
yeah. I'm leery about starting Tyreek Hill this week. But you got to.
yeah, you invested too much in him not to this week.
Yeah. You could probably start A-Chan. You could definitely start A-Chan.
I'm starting A-Chan.
A-Chan is going to get his work.
I'm also starting Mostert because I'm desperate.
I don't think you saw Mostert anymore. I think Mostert's not a thing no more.
I know. I'm fully aware.
Mostert has had negative carries the last 2 weeks, like negative yardage the last couple of weeks.
I'm hoping for like 10, 15, 20 yards, 30 yards at the most. I'd be happy if he got me 3 points. Put it that way. It's hard.
I started Mostert hoping that he could fall into the end zone one of these weeks.
Right.
I think Mostert's done. I think he's done. Last year, he had a career year, and I think it's a wrap at this point. We starting Tua? I can start. I think he start Tua. I think you can start Tua.
Yeah, you can start Tua.
But I think Waddle is not it anymore.
I think if you got a better option than Tua, you're not starting Tua. But
would you start Tua or would you start Geno?
Who's Geno got? Geno's at
Arizona.
Yeah, I would start Geno.
Okay. Waddle is probably not a thing no more.
Yeah.
Because of Jonnu Smith. I think Jonnu Smith has taken has taken all of Waddle's looks. And this is a guy in Waddle who broke the rookie reception record. He took it from Anquan Bolden.
Mm.
I don't know what's going on this season with Waddle, but Waddle's not it right now. I don't know what's going on.
He could get it back, and I wouldn't give up on Waddle yet. He's got time.
I'm talking about for this season. This season. I think it's a wrap for him this season. I only got shares of Waddle in one league, and that's a dynasty league. And it's I'm trying to tell you, it's a pain to start him every week. But I usually have no better option at the wide receiver position because all my other guys are either hurt or on bye. So I'll be having no choice but to start Waddle and hoping that he can do something this week. That whatever week I start him. So I may have to start him this week. I don't want to, but I may have to start him this week.
I feel your pain. I'm starting Mostert. Like I said, I feel your pain.
Like you're playing that lottery ticket and hoping that you get something from it. What's the next game?
Next game is Tampa Bay at New York by 6, over under 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Evans is back.
Well, that's a plus.
Mike Evans is back. So you started Mike Evans. You're going to start Cade Otton. I think Mike Evans being back helps Cade Otton because I think Cade Otton is going to get all the targets that Godwin was getting because he's the second most prolific pass catcher on the team now. And now he has a true number one to where it can open up more options for him. I want to say you could start Rachaad White again. You can start him again. Whatever he doesn't give you in the running game, he's going to give you in receptions. And he's been back doing that now for the past couple of weeks quietly. He's been doing that his past couple starts where, he's put points on the board through the air. It's usually through the air, not on the ground. Like on the ground, he'll go 8 for 30. But in the air, he'll catch 7 passes for like 45 yards and a TD. That's a good day. That's a good day right there.
Yeah, Giants are rough on tight ends, though. But at least that's what the numbers are telling me over here. They're like third against third best. Well, they give up third fewest points to tight ends. But I myself would still run Otton out there. And in fact, I am Otton out there.
Of course.
I mean, you ain't got too many tight ends on your team. So
right. And Otton is going to get the targets.
Yes. Like you said, he's getting all of Godwin's targets. So
yeah. If Godwin hadn't gotten hurt, I don't think Otton would be that big of a thing. But since Godwin got hurt, Otton has to be a thing.
Three of the last 4 weeks, even though they were all losses, Godwin's got 10 plus targets.
Yeah.
10, 11, and 8 in his last.
You got to start somebody who gets that many targets. You got to start him.
You do.
You got to start him.
That's a good number for tight end. That's a high number for tight ends.
Out of those 10 plus targets, he's catching about 7 or 8 of them. He's catching about 7 or 8 of them, and seven catches for 80-something yards and a possible TD. That's a really good game for a tight end. Really good game. So you're in the plus in that department.
I would love for any of these weeks, 8 for 100, 9 for 81, and 2 touchdowns, 8 for 77 and a touchdown. Who wouldn't want that production out of your tight end?
Who wouldn't?
You can recoup anything close to that.
Especially this year.
Yes.
With tight end, the tight end position being abhorrent. Yeah. I'm starting out.
Absolutely.
On the Giants side, I'm waiting to see what DeVito does. I'm waiting to see what he does. I can't wait to see the Giants play the Eagles again because I want to see how him and Big Dom react to each other. I wonder if they in the same mob or if they from rival mobs, because both of them in the family. So I want to see how they react to each other. But I'm waiting on that. I want to see who he targets. I'm starting Tracy definitely. But I want to see who he targets, because he favored Wan'Dale Robinson a lot when he played last. So I want to see if he goes back to that or if he mixes in some neighbors. So
also, he's too good to ignore. Really, you gotta use neighbors.
Yeah, you gotta start neighbors if he's playing, because I know he had an injury this week. So if he's starting, you gotta play him.
Yes. We looked at it. He's in danger of missing a game. That told me nothing. Concussion, yeah, I would lean towards him missing the game. Concussion's not it.
Isn't that like his second concussion this year?
It could be. Wait, maybe it's the wrong injury.
Yeah, look out for that.
Was it a hamstring? Is he the one who?
I thought it was a hamstring. I didn't know nothing about a concussion. I know he had a concussion earlier this year.
Search engine's kind of weird. All right. Yeah, I saw a hamstring somewhere before, so I would go with that. He did not practice Friday due to groin injury and is questionable. That was yesterday. That doesn't help. He is playing barring something unforeseen. But I don't have a clear answer. I don't have a clear answer.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that. Unforeseen.
Yes.
Don't tell me unforeseen. Like, give me something.
Right. I'm still looking questionable groin. Wow, this is a whole lot of nothing. I have nothing. I may not know anything till tomorrow. I'm not getting a clear answer out of any of this. The sources don't know.
So I think we covered everything on that. Johnson. We starting Johnson?
I'm drawing a blank on who Johnson is. What game were we talking about? My bad. Tampa Bay, New York.
I think New York. I think it's Theo Johnson.
Oh,
the tight end.
I'm not very familiar with Duke.
Duke has been putting up some. He's been like always this close from having a top 7 wide tight end week. So yeah, he's been doing pretty good. I think I started him.
That's a good reason as any, which is one play away.
I think I started him when he played against the Panthers. He had 4 catches for 37 yards and almost scored a TD.
Damn.
So yeah, he's always close. Always close.
I'd say he's going to break out at some point. Then
he's got to. He's got to, especially getting a lot of catches. He looks like that dude that be doing them goofy football videos. When I show you his picture, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
He looks just like that dude, don't he?
You do. I mean, there's a resemblance.
Yeah. So what's the next game?
Ugly motherfuckers. Next game is Dallas at Washington. Washington by 10.5. Damn.
Total disrespect.
Jerry
Total
Jones
disrespect.
turning over in his grave. Damn.
Oh man. Mr. Teflon, Dan Quinn plays his old team. Plays his old team. And he's probably gonna try to make an example out of his old team. So of course you start Jaden Daniels. You start Terry McLaurin. You start Awesome Eckler. Even if Johnson is back, you can still start Eckler because Eckler is like the number 2 pass catcher on the team. So yeah, I would start Eckler. I think that's it for.
What's the other dude from Washington? Other wide receiver. I'm drawing
Noah
a blank.
Noah Brown.
Noah Brown. That guy.
I don't know why McCaffrey's not getting used. I don't know. I don't know. I thought McCaffrey probably would have been the number 2 guy, but if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
He may well be in the future.
Could be. It's a possibility.
No.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I'm not giving up on him in my dynasty league. In my dynasty leagues, I'm reserving a spot for McCaffrey. As far as Dallas goes, you can probably start Cooper Rush. If you're desperate, and you're in a 2 QB league. Cooper Rush had a good week last week for fantasy football. The team lost, but Cooper Rush put up some numbers for you. A lot of it was garbage time, but he put up some numbers for you.
Sometimes it's hard to separate the two.
Yeah.
So all things considered last week.
Right, me personally, during the season, I'm watching a lot for fantasy football purposes during the season. If I never got into fantasy football, I would be the first one to yell, Cooper Rush is trash. I'd be the first one here to say in real life, Cooper Rush is trash. But for fantasy football purposes, he is not. He's actually pretty decent. I've seen more good fantasy football games from Cooper Rush than I've seen bad.
Yeah. He's only had like 2 bad games.
Yeah. And the other 3 or 4 were decent to good.
Like as long as he doesn't play Philly, he's good.
Yeah. How about that? You can start CD Lamb. Don't know how I feel about Rico Dowdle. And I don't know how I feel about Tolbert anymore because Tolbert was getting a lot of run with Dak. And now that Dak is not playing, it seems like Turpin is the go-to guy. Well, not the go-to guy, but Turpin's like the number 3. The number 2 is probably going to be the tight end, Shoemaker.
I look at that line. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm looking at because I know old boy not starting this week. I know Ferguson's not starting. So I would start Shoemaker.
Yes. Dallas is going to have to throw. That
early and often
tells me that Rico Dotto is going to be obsolete this week. This run game for Dallas, however limited it is going to be obsolete. They're going to have to throw it a lot because they're going to be playing from behind.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, last week, I believe it was last week, there was a 52-9 or something game, and the spread was about 10 points. And I said on this show, I would take the under because 10 points is too many. And then the Jaguars proceeded to get the shit beat out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to hop on that train this week. Not with either of the games that are with spreads that high, because I learned my lesson.
Right.
Sometimes I should just take the easy money. And you should too, people, because Washington's going to beat the shit out of Dallas, and I'm going to be sitting there like this.
Thank God that I was never a Cowboys fan.
Right.
Cowboy fans got to wake up and fight for the Dallas Cowboys every day. Like New York dudes used to have to wake up and fight for New York. online.
From Brooklyn, yeah.
back in the early 2000s, like New York dudes used to have to fight through all the New York jokes. Like Cowboy fans have to fight every day. Every day they gotta fight.
And their team ain't even fighting. Like, that shit is tragic.
I
You can go ahead and take the season off this time around. You don't need to hear it.
I'm so thankful that my team is not hated like the Dallas Cowboys.
It's because of the fans, though. It really is. The hate for the Cowboys is because of the Cowboys fans. All that America's team bullshit. I'm sorry, but in the real world, the Eagles are more popular than the Dallas Cowboys are.
I don't think no team is more popular than the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm only saying that because it's so much. They got a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm.
Their games are always highly viewed because people, I want to say it's always a lot of talk about Dallas Cowboys. I always want to say it's always a lot of talk. Throughout the year, there's always a lot of talk about the Cowboys because it's always either Cowboy fans defending their team or it's people slandering the Dallas Cowboys. Like Cowboy fans get slandered by Jacksonville Jaguar fans. So
what the hell is a Jacksonville Jaguar fan?
Yeah, you got to think. I got a homeboy.
No such thing.
I got a homeboy that lives in Chicago, but he's a Baltimore Ravens fan, and he hates the Cowboys. You got to think about that. Like
you got no dog in that fight.
You got no
still
dog
hate
in
the
that fight.
Cowboys.
The team that represents the city you live in ain't in the NFC East, and then your favorite team is in the AFC. You have no dog in this fight, but you hate the Cowboys. Like, so yeah, I think the Cowboys are probably the most popular team in the league because they're always the most talked about.
Most hate watched.
And people definitely hate watch the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Every time the Dallas Cowboys lose, it's like a national holiday on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they lose in the playoffs. Let them get eliminated. Let it get announced that the Dallas Cowboys are eliminated from playoff contention and watch you see social media go off.
I can't wait for that.
Every year, this is an every year thing. This is what people. This is like Christmas when the Dallas Cowboys get eliminated from playoff contention. It's like Christmas for football fans, except if you're a Cowboys fan.
I'm not arguing that statement one bit. It's a holiday in my house. Yes,
I got a homeboy that's a Cowboys fan. He's probably going to join the league next year. And he's probably going to be on these podcasts with us. He got a son, and he's raising his son to be a Cowboy fan. I said, bro, why are you doing that to him?
Right.
Why are you doing
that? You don't get that every day.
I was like, why are you doing that to him? Like, you raising a soldier, and you don't even know it. Raising a soldier, you don't even know it. He gonna be fighting for the Cowboys before he turns 10. He's gonna be.
Ain't even gonna know why. Ain't even gonna know why.
He's not even going to know why. I tried to convert my daughters.
Marcus Lawrence is okay, I guess.
I tried to convert my daughters into being 49er fans, but it's like we don't watch football.
I already won. I already won that battle.
Depart from me. You do not know me.
I converted everyone to an Eagles fan. My passion is infectious.
What's the next game on the docket?
Next game is the other 10.5 point spread. With over under a 42.5, Kansas City is going into Carolina, and they're going to take Carolina's butt.
Pretty much. All eyes.
They coming for the beehole.
Because booty is more important than water.
Oh shit.
So like, yeah, this is
all hands on deck for Kansas City. Who do you start for Carolina?
This is going to be a thrashing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kansas City going to take out that loss they've had on Buffalo on these guys this week. They're going to thrash them.
I'm hoping for
But
60.
But there may be some garbage time points to be had in this game from Carolina. There may be some garbage time points for Thielen. There may be some garbage time points for Leggett. There may be some garbage time points for Hubbard. Maybe. No. Kansas City's really good against the run. I don't see Carolina being on goal line enough for Hubbard to really eat. But if you have my boy, who I have in almost every damn league, Brooks, this may be the week you could start Brooks. He may, because he's the pass catching back. Hubbard's not that good as a pass catcher. I can see Brooks getting about 5 or 6 catches this game. Maybe more, because Carolina's gonna have to throw a lot, so maybe more. Brooks made me a sneaky start in PPR leagues. I don't think he's gonna score, but 7 catches for 60 yards, that's 13 points.
Is that your shot?
Not my shot.
All right.
It's not my shot. Not my shot. My shot is on a game that we already spoke on. So yeah.
This game, this KC Carolina game, Battle of the Barbecue, whatever you want to call it. I see this going one way, and it's going to go the way Detroit versus Jacksonville went last week.
Oh, you think KC going to drop 50 on them?
I think it's going to be worse.
Oh, they going to drop a 60 burger on them?
I'm thinking 60. Yeah, they got a point to prove here. They got to make a statement, and Carolina just begging for it. It's
did you
how
see
can
that?
you not beat the hell out of Carolina?
Did you see that Kansas City just signed a Pro Bowl tackle?
Yeah, the lineman. Yeah, I did see that.
From Arizona.
What was that?
See, this is what I be talking about.
Was it Humphreys?
Yeah, DJ Humphreys. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Why is Kansas City signing players like this when the 49ers could have used it?
Right. It's the middle of the season and he's still pulling this shit off. I didn't even know Bo was a free agent.
Yeah, because Arizona stupidly let him go. First and foremost, he's a Pro Bowl tackle. He's still young. Why would you release him? Because he got injured. Why would you release him? Like, every team can use a good lineman. I'm looking at Andy Reid. I'm like, this is why Andy Reid got 3 rings, making moves like this when the rest of the league is sleeping. I'm pretty sure every team around the league could have used a lineman like this, but Kansas City's the one that go make the signing.
That's the way it be when you're at the top. Everybody wants to for you.
Yeah. We could have used them. We definitely could have used them because our right tackle still ain't shit. So we definitely could have used them. And I'm pretty sure y'all could have used them.
Yeah, we could always use some more depth on the O-line.
Exactly. Like O-line.
That's valuable.
You can never have too many pass rushers, and you can never have too many good offensive linemen. That's my theory. That's my theory right there. You can never have too much of the trenches. Never. Never. If I had a team, I would make sure the depth in the trenches would be the strongest out of anything. Because damn having a lot of wide receivers, I want to be able to keep the quarterback upright. I would rather spend a lot of first round picks on O-line, D-line talent. I would rather spend all my first round picks there because if you build from the trenches, it helps everything else. Yes. A strong defensive line helps the linebackers and it helps the DBs. A strong offensive line helps the quarterback, helps the running backs by opening up running back lanes, helps the quarterback, gives him more time in the pocket to get the wide receivers open. So more time in the pocket, DBs can't cover that long. You give me a good 3 to 4 or 5 seconds in the pocket, somebody's going to get open. I can get the ball to the guy that's open. So
Right.
yeah. Build from the
Gotta be
trenches.
strong in the trenches. Gotta be strong in the trenches.
You gotta build from the trenches. You gotta
Your
build
team ain't shit if you ain't strong there.
at all.
That's where it all begins. So you don't have a good start. You don't have a good play.
Exactly. So what's the next game on the docket?
Oh,
You freezing up. Oh, I couldn't hear nothing you were saying. You started freezing up over there. So while Boulevard is frozen, we're gonna see what the next game is. Did we talk about? You still froze, my boy. All right. You said what's the next game?
Tennessee at Houston.
Tennessee at Houston.
Excuse my technical difficulties. Tennessee or Houston by 7.5. Over under is 40.
So of course you're gonna start mixing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about Stroud. In 2 QB league, you gotta start him, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was expecting Stroud to light that Cowboys defense up. Because he got Nico back. And I don't know. I feel like they're turned it into a running team now. I feel like they're starting to turn into a team that leads with the run, starts with the run, and works through the run. And Stroud is just gonna. I don't want to say the word. He's a game manager.
Oh, he said it.
I don't want to say that, but this is what I'm starting to see now. And I think it was it Troy Aikman that made the statement on Monday night that would be good for Stroud, the player versus Stroud the QB, to just let the offense flow through Joe Mixon.
Absolutely.
But this is not what you drafted Stroud for.
He's 7th in passing now. Right now, I don't know where he stands in fantasy, but he's 7th in passing yardage at least. I mean, that man has.
What's his touchdowns? Where does he stand as his touchdowns?
Oh, shit. Give me a second. I'm out there. This is going to take me a minute. So I was looking at a whole different stat. Shit. Let's see. He has. Wow. 12 touchdowns, 7 picks.
It's not good.
Well,
it's not good. It's not good. That's not good. At this point in the season, he should have at least 8 more TDs. At least 8 more TDs.
Yeah, that puts you up there with that's top 5. That would be a top 5 right now.
I mean, this is what you drafted Stroud for.
Mm-hmm.
You drafted Stroud thinking he was going to be a top 5 guy.
Yeah, we gave him all those weapons too.
Yeah.
So you're right.
I mean,
you should expect a little more. I mean, maybe it's the effectiveness of Mixon more than anything.
And Stroud has only had 2 300-yard games this year. 2.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. It's not good at all. And he's only had 1, 2, 3 3 games where he scored more than 1 TD.
Oh man, hey, that's wild.
Yeah. This is not what we drafted Stroud for. We drafted Stroud because we thought he was going to put up the numbers that Joe Burrow putting up. Because Jesus Christ, Joe Burrow, 27 TDs at this point in the year versus 4 picks.
I know. Do you put him in MVP ratings? Because he was like 5th, tied for. No, he was tied for 5th.
I would put him in the MVP. I would put him in the MVP if his team was winning.
I believe he's tied for 7th.
I think
floating right now in the odds.
I think Joe Burrow is on pace. He's on pace for about 40 TDs and 5,000 yards.
And might win 6 games. Might win 7 games.
But you know, I made this comparison last week. I think Joe Burrow might be the new Drew Brees. Because remember how Drew Brees was for fantasy football? His defense was always trash because he was always in shootouts. So Drew Brees was always putting up 5,000 yards and 40 yards CD 40 TD seasons, like
crazy fucking numbers.
Right. And this was a guy that you would draft in the 3rd or 4th round of your fantasy football, 3rd, 4th, 5th round versus people taking Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and Aaron Rodgers. They taking them in the 1st round. I'm always let me get my running back. Let me get my wide receiver 1. Let me get my other running back, and then I go get Drew Brees. And Drew Brees was my guy. Like, I think I kind of lost my way in fantasy football after Drew Brees retired. No, it was like after Drew Brees got a defense. I kind of lost my way in fantasy football because I was like, no, the defense is good. He's not in shootouts no more. Oh, I missed that because it was the easy pick. It was the easy pick for me every year, and I would always get this guy in the 4th or 5th round. Always would get him in the 4th or 5th round because everybody wanted to go and grab these, like how they doing fantasy football now. Everybody's grabbing Pat Mahomes. Everybody's grabbing Lamar Jackson. They're grabbing Josh Allen early. You know, meanwhile, I'm taking Drew Brees in the 4th, 5th round. I mean, Joe Burrow in the 4th, 5th round. And Joe Burrow's that dude. He's that dude. He is that dude. I'm hoping that they can somehow find a way to keep chasing Higgins so we can just keep the good times rolling. I'm hoping we can find a way to keep them both. If not, then draft somebody next year because you got Higgins in the 2nd round in his first year, so you can draft T. Higgins replacement.
Definitely. They've shown decent skill at picking up receivers over the past decade or so.
Yeah,
I don't think at that spot.
I don't think Ishi Vaz is it. I don't think he's it. Not
this year. He's a rookie, right?
No, I don't think he's a rookie. I think he was there last year. The rookie is Jermaine Burton.
Yeah,
and he's from Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, he's not showing. Yeah, maybe he's not. I mean, there was a point in this when I kept saying that he might be underutilized or underregarded, I guess. But no, I was wrong.
No, it's his attitude. It's his attitude. He got all the talent. He got all the talent in the world, but what we say, football is up here. It's up here a lot. If you ain't got it up here on that field, your talent ain't going. Your talent only take you so far.
Yeah,
your talent only take you so far. You got to be able to utilize your IQ on that field and do what you're necessarily supposed to do. Like,
especially at that level, best of the best of the best.
Best of the best. And a lot of these people, they're good in college, and they feel like that's going to carry them over into the NFL. No, it's not, because now you're playing against the best of the best. Now you're playing against the best of the best. Like you were on a team. You were on a team that was fully loaded, full of talent. Now you're going to play a bunch of teams that are fully loaded, full of talent. So yeah, you got to improve. You got to improve. Do I feel like he can do it? Yeah. But he got to get it up here first.
Right. Almost every player on every team almost was a star at some point in their development. So you ain't special when you get to the pros.
Exactly. And I think that's what happened with Trey Lance. Trey Lance got to the pros and realized that he's not playing against them bum schools that he was playing against when he was in college. Because he wasn't playing against real talent. He was playing against bums. So, yeah. What's the next game?
Next game is Denver at Las Vegas. Denver about 5.5. Over under 41. It should be more.
It should be more than that.
They're not giving Bo Nix his props.
It's probably because it's a division game. But that Denver defense and Bo Nix starting to come into form. I feel like it's going to be a wash because the Raiders don't have enough to compete with them.
No,
they don't have enough. But then again, I felt that way about the Ravens against the Ravens. They somehow found a way to beat the Ravens.
Yeah, I feel like you can't really disregard them.
I feel like the Raiders can find a way to beat anybody, but I think Denver's hitting on all cylinders right now, and it's going to be tough for them to beat Denver. I feel like you could start Bo Nix. You could start Cortland Sutton. Might be able to start Velli this week. Somewhere along the line, Troy Franklin has to become a thing. Because that was Bo Nix's guy in college. Somewhere along the line, Troy Franklin has to become a thing.
Yeah. That kind of chemistry, all you need is like a code word or something.
Right.
Oh.
And who do we start? Who we starting at running back with Denver? Because I don't think Estime is gonna.
Then puts if not him, then back to McLaughlin. Otherwise,
no, Javonte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would start Javonte this week over Estime. And for the Raiders, just start Brock Bowers. And people always say Jacoby Myers. I need to see more out of. It's not that Jacoby Myers is not the issue. The quarterback is the issue. Because
I'm not looking for Jacoby Myers unless I'm in legal trouble.
Any good quarterback can get the ball to Jacoby Myers. But the quarterbacks that the Raiders have, they can only get the ball to Brock Bowers consistently. So consistently start Brock Bowers. What's the next game?
Especially that up and down tight end spot. Yeah, no doubt. Start Brock Bowers if you got him. Next game is San Francisco at Green Bay. This one may have playoff implications because if y'all lose,
I'm glad your technology froze up at that. If y'all lose, I'm so glad it froze up right there. So now, so that's your technology that froze up. That was God talking. God didn't want you to finish that statement.
Oh man, it was good too. It was a good one.
I'm not calling a winner on this because every time GI's on here, he calls a winner, we fucking lose. So I'm not calling the winner. What I am going to say is I'm leery about starting anybody on the 49ers this week that's not George Kittle or CMC. And the only reason why I say that is because it's a new quarterback starting this week. We don't know who he's going to favor. I mean, if you have Deebo Samuels, you have no choice but to start Deebo. If you have Jawan Jennings, you have no choice but to start Jawan Jennings. Especially with all these buys this week. If you have Ricky Pearsall, you have no choice but to start Ricky Pearsall. Allen could favor Pearsall. He could favor He could favor Debo. I mean, he could favor Jennings. We don't know until the real bullets start flying. At least with Purdy out there, you had more of an answer to that riddle. Okay, I know I can start this guy. You don't know. You don't know. So Kittle's always going to be a thing, regardless of who is at quarterback. You can start Kittle, and you can start CMC. Those are the only two that I'm looking at starting. Now, as far as Green Bay goes, Green Bay has an even cloudier. It's even cloudier there. Of course, you know you're going to start Josh Jacobs, but who's going to get the targets? You just don't know. You don't know who Jordan Love is going to favor this week.
Right.
Is he going to favor? Is he going to favor Dobbs? Is he going to favor Kraft? Is he going to favor? I mean, last week he favored Watson. Watson had like 120 yards. And Reed got the touchdown, but Reed didn't get many targets. So you just don't know. You just don't know. This game, you start the running backs. I guess you can start Jordan Love. Jordan Love has been just as disappointing this year as Stroud.
Yeah, but for the same reasons you would start Stroud, you start Love.
Yeah, and then you start Kittle. Those are the only ones I'm excited about starting this week. I'm only excited about starting Kittle, CMC, and Josh Jacobs. Those are the only three people I'm excited about starting. So
yeah, I'm sure you got into the flip flop, the wishy washy of the receivers. It could be anybody.
It could be anybody. It could be anybody. We don't know. We don't know. Only because with Green Bay we've been trying to guess all season as to who's going to be it. Like we thought we had an answer with Jaden with Reed. We thought we had an answer, but then Romeo Dobbs threw a temper tantrum, and then after he threw a temper tantrum, he started getting the ball more, and now all of a sudden he's not getting the ball anymore. So it's a big question mark in Green Bay, and it's a question mark in San Francisco because of the new quarterback. So one thing I always like to preach: whenever there's a new quarterback, you got to watch for those targets. Like you can't be just eager to just throw a guy out there. You got to watch for who they favor, because new quarterbacks in the system, and not in the system, but new quarterbacks starting, they tend to have their guys. Like I don't know if we were recording this, what Boulevard was saying. Me and Boulevard were talking about this earlier, and he was like, well, backup quarterbacks tend to favor guys in the middle of the pack because that's who they practice with. So you gotta look at things like that. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Allen didn't practice a lot with Pearsall. I'm pretty sure he practiced a lot with Cowing, but Cowing's out this week. But so that's something to look. That's something to think about. Something to look at. What's the next game?
Next game is Arizona at Seattle. Arizona by 1. Over under 47.5.
Okay. Start Geno. Start Kenneth Walker. Start Metcalf. Start Jackson Smith and Jigba. On Arizona's side, start Kyler. Start McBride. Be hesitant about Marvin Harrison. And start Connor. Boulevard Daft Punk again. I'm pretty sure Boulevard is over there giving the best takes. I'm pretty sure you over there giving the best takes, but you keep freezing up.
I know. Oh, I hate this. I don't know what's going on with my internet. It's like nothing else is even on in the house. So
What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying that it's, I mean, I was looking at that over under that Arizona by 1, and I don't know if I'd commit that strongly to Arizona. I'd probably take Seattle to win in this one. I was looking to see who I'd picked in to pick them, but I didn't have time because my battery was dying.
I'll tell you
But
what.
as far as fantasy purposes, Harrison, Murray, your boy, the running back, Connor.
If Seattle's defense is starting to turn that corner under McDonald,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably give them the nod this game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, at home, especially at home, yeah.
I need to see because I know Purdy got hurt during the game. So I need to see if it was Purdy's injury or if it was Seattle's defense that was getting those little stops on us. So that's what I need to see. So I need to see that against a healthy Kyler Murray.
I don't know. I predict a mildly big game for Marv Harrison Jr.
And Boulevard's freezing up again. I heard that robotic scream.
I can't rap.
I used to correct.
Right? I had some good shit out here too, and I don't even know if that went through, if any of it went through.
It didn't. All I heard was a robotic scream.
Nah. Well, that's a shame.
What's the next game? It's probably your game.
It's my game. It's Philly going to the Rams Sunday night, 3-point favorites, over under 48.5. Take the over.
You think this game gonna be a shootout?
I think Philly's secondary is strong enough at this point that they can contain Puka and Cup. Not worried about Kobe Parkinson. Not worried about the running game. Those, to me, are not going to be the factors, because the Eagles' defense, if they keep on the road they've been playing on, they'll be doing enough, getting enough pressure off of the D line, and those young secondary players will be doing enough to contain. So I have gone with Philly at least winning this by a touchdown. As far as fantasy, obviously you start Saquon, you start Hurts, you start AJ. Devontae's missing in action this week. Goddard's Goddard.
So that means that Goddard's going to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goddard will eat. I mean, Goddard gets a lot of targets when one of the wide receivers is down. I mean, GQ brought up the idea that maybe Dotson's going to eat. I don't know about that, though. I wouldn't bet on that. I mean, this week, if you're that desperate, you could bet on that, but I personally wouldn't take that risk. He's probably good for one decent play a game at this point. So
I'm rooting for the Eagles in this game for obvious reasons. But I feel like everybody on the Rams is startable. I feel like you can start Stafford, you can start Cooper, you can start Puka, you can start Kyron, and that's where it stops.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be enough there, even if it's garbage time points, it's enough there for
LA is definitely gonna score.
Yeah, for them to
handling defenses lately, offenses lately. So
I feel like it's enough. It's enough there to get a good fantasy week out of whatever guy you got on the Rams. It's enough there.
25 touches for Barkley equals a win for Philly. As long as Sirianni doesn't get too cute, starts smelling his own piss, doing dumb shit, we should be fine. LA's
and that's a problem.
They're
For
middle
a
of
lot
the pack. That's team a
problem
good
with a lot of players, a lot of coaches get too
Mhm.
cute. They get too
Mhm.
cute. Play grown man football. Don't get
Yeah.
cute.
That's what works with Philly. Give it to Saquon, clear a path, let him work his magic. Give it to AJ, let him outmuscle every one of them little ass corners to do his thing. It works.
Mm.
Defense gets pressure. Defense stop the run. Linebackers make plays in space. Cornerbacks contain the receivers. It works.
Right.
I didn't believe in it at the start of the season, but I'm coming around to see the picture. And it looks good when it's firing off on all cylinders. So if they can come out, score early on LA, have LA playing from behind, it should play right into their hands. So
I'm a big fan of Vic Fangio. Always been a fan of Vic Fangio. Always been a believer of Vic Fangio. Wanted Vic Fangio back as our defensive coordinator this year. Would have been way better. Would have been way better than the guy that we have now because Vic Fangio knows defense. And there's one thing about Vic Fangio. He knows how to slow down Pat Mahomes.
Would you welcome Saleh?
What you say?
You'd be happy with Robert Saleh coaching your defense?
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! I would be happy with Robert back or D'Amico back. Either one of those two, I'd be happy back. Because a homeless Kyle Shanahan ain't it. He ain't it. He is not it. He is not it. He is not it.
Homeless Kyle Shanahan.
That's exactly who he looks like. Homeless Kyle Shanahan.
The word is houseless. I'm sorry. People really be doing this shit. They be getting all caring about the word homeless.
Bruh. Our defensive coordinator, I'm going to tell you who he looked like. Our defensive coordinator looked like the guy on the couch from Half Baked. I need to put a side by side of the 49ers defensive coordinator and the guy on the couch from Half Baked because they look just alike. And Boulevard is frozen again. Here we go. All right, this last game, Monday night game.
Yes. That is Baltimore at the Chargers. Brother versus brother.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Baltimore about 2.5, over under 50, tied for the highest expected scoring game of the day, of the weekend.
Who you got winning that game?
I got Baltimore winning.
Yeah, Baltimore winning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I definitely see a world where the Chargers can win this game. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a stretch if they did. It wouldn't like be an upset or a shock or any shit like that the way the Chargers have been playing.
The Chargers to win, they would have to contain Lamar and make him throw from the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that Lamar can't beat you from the pocket. I'm not saying that he can't, because Lamar can definitely beat you from the pocket. But don't allow him no running lanes. Don't allow him no running lanes. Pressure him, but don't crash on him.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna rush him out of bounds. Like you gotta play it delicately, because any wrong move and Lamar taking about 40 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And then you gotta stop Derrick Henry. You gotta commit enough people in the pocket to stop Derrick Henry. It's difficult. It's difficult to do that because you have to have a defense that can do that. I think the Chargers have a good enough defense that they can replicate what Pittsburgh did, because Pittsburgh always has like the right the right idea for how to slow Lamar down. They always have the right idea because they're the only team I see that consistently can slow Lamar down.
Right.
Why other teams in the league don't replicate what they do is beyond me. But like, yeah, them and Kansas City, they always know how to slow Lamar down a little bit. I'm interested in seeing this game because like Jim has never beaten John. He's never beaten John. So if he beats John, like, yeah, that's huge. That's huge. I did not expect the turnaround for the Chargers to be this early.
Right.
But then again, why shouldn't I? It's Jim Harbaugh. Everywhere he goes, he turns the program around. Everywhere he goes, and it's a quick turnaround. It's a quick turnaround. The Chargers are definitely in the playoffs. I can see them in the playoffs. I don't see them missing the playoffs. I don't see that. But from this game, I'm starting Herbert because that Ravens defense secondary is still trash. So I'm starting Herbert. Don't know if I'm starting J.K. Dobbins, even though I know J.K. Dobbins wants this. I know J.K. and Gus the Bus, they want this. They both want this. If Ladd McConkey starts, I'm playing Ladd McConkey. If Quentin Johnson starts, I may play Quentin Johnson because Quentin has started to look like he's the number one guy there outside of Ladd.
Right.
On the Ravens, of course, you start Lamar Jackson. You start Lamar. You're a fool if you don't.
Right.
And you start Derrick Henry. Start Will Dissly. Start Will Dissly.
I'm starting Will Dissly.
Yeah, Will Disley's a thing now. Start Will Dissly. Are we starting Mark Andrews this week? Are we starting Mark Andrews this week?
Yes. This is the kind of game that a player like him would actually be a difference maker.
All right. So what about
Chargers defense doesn't allow points, so they're going to have to get it everywhere they can. All hands on deck.
What about Flowers?
Flowers. I guess you'd have to. I mean, if you don't have a better option, like you have to have a better option out there than Flowers. But all things considered, yeah, he's the number one in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
And then you'd really have no other choice. You got to play the number ones.
What about Deontay Johnson?
One day he'll show something. I don't think it'll. I mean, this is the kind of game where I say like players have. You find little X factors that make the plays when they're necessary that change the game. This would be a week like that because everyone's expecting something from him at some point.
Yeah.
So this could be the time. This would be the time where they would need him to make a play when it counts.
Yeah.
Make plays when they matter. And this could definitely be that week. I mean, if you got him there and you've been fiending to start him, put him out there. He might not disappoint you this week. Some weeks, no. But this week, a game like this, where just the little plays matter, put him out there. I'd start him this week.
So that was our starts and sits of the week.
Woo.
Yeah. So now we're about to get into the Q&A session. And Rick, if you're watching, this is for you because the last time you were on here, you asked me to do this. So yes, we have a graphic for Q&As now.
Q&A.
That was me. My hands being so great.
That was me at the press conference.
All right. Somebody wants to know Anthony Richardson versus the Lions or Geno Smith versus the Cardinals.
I'm trusting Geno more. because first and foremost, I know Gino's going to get the ball to his weapons. That's number one. Number two, I know for sure that I don't have to worry about Gino getting hurt in the middle of the game. Those are two things that I really worry about. Like I worry about Anthony doing too much and flying a little too close to the sun. So, with that being said, Gino.
Okay. Good answer. Plus, Gino's playing the Cardinals. I feel like the odds are better that you're going to get numbers versus the Cards defense, even with Gannon as a head coach, than you would against the Lions defense. So,
yeah.
Somebody else says, since Allen is on bye, Tua or Gino?
This is the conundrum I had to come to. Because Joe Burrow's on bye in one of my leagues, and I had Gino on my bench, but Tua is in the free agency pool. So I'm sitting there looking, and I'm like,
That's wild. Tua's a free agent. That's crazy.
I'm like last year, Tua would not be sitting in free agency.
Right. It's a crazy thought, man.
Yeah, but again, I'm trusting Tua. I'm trusting Gino because Arizona doesn't have a Christian Gonzalez. So I'm trusting Gino.
I can dig it. All right. Some other dude wanted to know Josh Downs versus.
All right, Boulevard, you're breaking up again.
Hold
up. Let's wait for Boulevard to come back because he's breaking up again. All right, we're back. Now, what was the next question?
The next question was Jawan Jennings or Cortland Sutton this week?
I'm probably trusting Cortland Sutton more than Jawan Jennings because, like I said, I don't know who Allen is going to favor. And Cortland Sutton is the number one on his team, and he's playing against the Raiders. And I feel like, Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton, they have a connection. I honestly see Cortland Sutton getting about 6 or 7 catches and a TD this week. So I'm trusting Cortland Sutton. Your comeback picture every time you come back from the lag, your comeback picture is always the same. It's like you're looking at and away from the camera at the same time. Like you're doing the glamour shot, the Deb's glamour shot.
Oh shit!
From Napoleon Dynamite, you're doing the Deb's glamour shot. Yeah. Well, what were you saying?
I don't even know anymore. Josh Downs or Jameson Williams?
Ooh. Probably Josh Downs because he's the number one guy on his team. But J-Mo he's a home run hit. J-Mo's a home run hitter. But I feel like Josh Downs is going to get more targets. So if I had to pick, I'm probably going to go with the guy who's going to get more targets.
All right. This one, these are two names you like. DeAndre Hopkins or Calvin Ridley tomorrow?
Yeah. Give me DeAndre Hopkins. Give me DeAndre Hopkins. He's playing against the worst defense, one of the worst defenses in the league, and they're coming off of a week where they just lost their first game in almost a year. So they're going to be pissed. So yeah, give me DeAndre.
Otten versus the Giants or Laporta versus the Colts?
Give me Otten.
Mm.
Give me Otten. It's a lot of mouths to feed in Detroit. It's not a lot of mouths to feed in Tampa Bay. Otten is probably the number 2 target.
Okay. I got Wandale or Tankdale at Flex. Dell.
Flex Dell. Maybe we should get Dell in here to answer that question. Wandale, probably because he's probably going to be the number 1 target on his team. And DeVito loves to throw the ball to Wandale. So, yeah.
I feel like this one would be a good closeout. Herbert versus the Ravens or Collar at Seattle?
I'm leaning more towards Herbert because Herbert's shown me more consistency lately than Kyler. Kyler has a high game and then he'll bring it right back down, and then he'll have another high hill in mid game. I don't like all of that. Give me some consistency. Right. I feel like if that Ravens game gets out of hand early and the Ravens just start whipping ass, or like, I don't see that being a defensive battle. I feel like there's going to be some scoring there. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Herbert. Granted, there's always opportunities for Kyler, but it's not a lot of consistency there. And this is from somebody who drafted Kyler in a few leagues.
All right.
I have been disappointed with what I've been seeing from Kyler all year, except for the last game. And it just so happens that he pulls that last game after I trade him. I trade him away, and then he just goes up. And then he just goes off. So he may go off for the rest of the season because I traded him away. So, but for this week, I'm trusting Herbert.
I don't know if Kyler ain't feeling a new Black of Duty or what. I mean, Call of Duty or what, but it don't seem to be messing with his game as much as it usually does.
Nah, but
maybe he's growing up a little.
Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see. But
basically,
coming to one of my favorite parts of the show, we're about to call our shot. You got your shot ready?
Yeah, I will within the next 30 seconds.
All right.
Call your shot.
All right, I'm going to go first.
Go for it.
I'm calling my shot on Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame, Mike Evans. In his return game, I feel like Mike Evans is going to get peppered with a lot of targets because having consistent 1,000 yard seasons means a lot to him. So I feel like Baker Mayfield is going to pepper him with a lot of targets. Mike Evans is going to have about 7 catches. He's going to go over 100 yards and have a TD.
All right, I got Devin A-Chain. I say Devin A-Chain gets about 130 on the ground. 2 touchdowns.
Nasty.
Oh, yeah. That's what I got. I was going to go with Derrick Henry, but no, I'm going to go with A-Chain. A-Chain, yeah.
Okay. All right. And with that being said, we all know who's next. Take it away, my boy.
Yeah, word on Garfields lasagna tray. It's your boy, Young Krice to Jesus, a.k.a. Cash Ketchum, the Pokemon trainer, a.k.a. Paper Mayfield, a.k.a. Mr. Raw Nuts, and I be the streets. I'm about to call my shot, you heard? This week I'm calling my shot on my boy Kareem Hunt. This might be the last hurrah for my boy, as Pacheco's could be back next week. But if we're going out in style. Kareem Hunt is going to have over 100 all-purpose yards and 2 scores. Word to mother, son. Hunt is facing the 32nd rush defense in the league, who are giving up an average of 160 yards per game. Kareem Hunt is about to be a kid in the candy store, you heard? or a Catholic priest in the audience of a BTS concert. But don't mind me, I just be talking shit.
That dude is a trip. I don't know where you found his ass, but he a trip.
Don't mind us. We just talking shit. Oh yes. Another good segment. And hey, I fact checked that. The Panthers are actually giving up 160 yards per game on the ground. That is abhorrent.
That's ugly.
So that means that every week you see the Panthers playing, you need to find out who the running back is they're playing against, because that's the guy you need to be starting.
That's a game changer right there, knowing that information.
Right. All right. We've come to this part of the segment, y'all. You know what it is. It's when my pet, if you want to call him, gives us his kicker of the week. So without further ado, Garfield, do what you do.
And now, Garfield's kicker of the week.
I was boxing up Christmas presents today, and Kyle reminded me that it was that time of the week again for me to pick my kicker. And I got to thinking, it's been a while since I had some chicken. So let's bring Colonel Sanders from the Miami Dolphins back to the stage.
Tell them they're a liar if they don't pick Jason Myers, Garfield.
Y'all hear that? I didn't hear it. Kyle, can we stop past the post office before heading to KFC?
And that was Garfield's kicker of the week.
Garfield, did you box up normal?
There's a lot of weird shit going on in your house.
Cats try to ship other cats. What are we doing?
That's the question. Yeah.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Garfield? I know you don't like Normal, but you can't be trying to mail Normal to Abu Dhabi. This is not what we do in this house. Normal's a valuable commodity, if you want to say that. All right. So this is the part of the show we try to identify some sleepers that's going to help you win your weeks this week. So without further ado, let's hit that graphic.
Sleeper plays of the week.
All right. Who we got?
I was going to say Rashawn Johnson, but primarily because he scored last week. I mean, he had 10 carries. He hadn't had 10 carries in his last 3 games combined. So, I mean, he was productive with it. Not really productive, 3.3 yards per, but he got in the end zone. He probably got his team 10 points, and in the end, that's what you want out of a pick like that. So, yeah.
I'm gonna say Kayshawn Booty again.
Booty.
Or however you pronounce it. He's consistently getting 6 targets. He's consistently getting 6 targets, and he's only 6% owned in Yahoo leagues. You could do worse at this point in the season than a guy who he's on the field for 73 of possible 76 snaps on offense, and he's getting 6 targets. One of these weeks, those targets is that one of those targets is going to turn into a touchdown. So this guy I'm looking at. And another guy who I'm looking at, we spoke on it earlier, Schoonmaker. He's only 10% rostered in Yahoo leagues. With Ferguson being injured, Schoonmaker is a guy that I'm looking at. Somebody I'm looking at that I may want to play because he got a lot of targets funneled his direction once Ferguson went out with the concussion. So he had 6 receptions on 10 targets last week. So he was the guy outside of CD Lamb that was getting targets. So you might want to look in that direction because the Cowboys are going to be passing the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm starting to see an influx of people picking up Tyrod Taylor.
They must know something or think they know something.
No, he's the backup on the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So are people thinking that Aaron Rodgers is not going to finish the season?
I could see him quitting. I could see him just quitting on the team.
I don't think he's going to.
He's really concerned with himself. That's the appearance that he puts out there. He only cares about himself. So
I can see that, but I don't see him quitting.
Bringing Devontae over and all that shit. No, I can't imagine. But I could see why they would think at some point somebody's going to put their foot down with him and put him on the bench. So maybe it's validated.
All right, so I don't want to. I really didn't want to double up on Patriots with you, but Kendrick Bourne had 5 catches last year, last game, 5 catches for 5 targets for 70 yards and a touchdown. He's somebody you might want to look at. Just keep an eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all players we're talking about in deeper leagues. So if you have roster space or you have some bums that ain't really done nothing for you this year, you're just counting on the names and you're too scared to drop them because of the name.
Right.
You're not going to win fantasy football games that way. Sometimes you need to let them names go and pick up players that are actually producing.
They don't mean shit if they ain't doing nothing.
Right.
No, you only want players on your team that are contributing to your success.
Because I'm not going to lie to you. I drafted Zamir White in the 6th or 7th round this year in a couple of leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Zamir White didn't do anything for me.
Right.
I don't care where I draft you at. If you're not doing anything to help my team, you're either going on the bench or you're going back into the free agency pool. And I had no problems. I had no qualms cutting Zamir White. Cut him. Gone. I'm picking up players that actually are doing something. So, Kendrick Bourne, somebody you want to look at.
I would say Justice Hill. I mean, he's cleared up. He's cleared of the concussion protocol and all that. And as the Ravens' second option in the backfield, they're changing pace back with multiple games with 6+ targets, multiple games with 10+ fantasy points, and that's being behind Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's available in 81% of leagues, 19% ownership. Go get this dude. I mean, week like this where you're looking at a bye week, probably from 3 out of 4 year running backs. Go grab this dude. In a game against the Chargers where they're going to be grinding it out, beating the shit out of each other, the trenches are going to matter. And the players, that's who you want. You want a Justice Hill, somebody, a game breaker, a change of pace that can separate itself in a grinded out game like that.
Playoff teams. People in first and second place.
Mm.
Somebody tweeted a clock the other day saying that they may be on their way back. Hollywood Brown.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's still in on IR. If you have IR spots in your leagues, stash him. If he comes back, and he's ready for the fantasy playoffs, wouldn't be a bad look.
No.
Would not be a bad look. He would easily be the best field stretching pass catcher on that team. Everything that we thought that we were getting with old boy, we would get that with Hollywood Brown.
Watch. All right, he's on my watch list now. I'm glad you said that.
So yeah, I picked him up just now when I leaks.
Oh,
It was my plan all along because I was waiting for Shoemaker to be ruled out. Not Shoemaker, Ferguson to be ruled out. So I could throw Ferguson in. I could put Brooks on my bench, put Ferguson on in the IR spot, and then I could go and get Hollywood Brown. So that was my plan the whole time.
well played.
Yeah, I like to tell y'all things after I do them in my leagues first. Because the people that I do these shows with, like Boulevard, like GI, we are in multiple leagues together and been in multiple leagues together for years. So I like to make my moves first, then tell the world about it after I did it so that they don't do it first.
Right, I was in there staring at it like, damn, I guess I'll wait a week. You already done made the damn move.
Yeah, so
well played.
He tweeted a clock. He tweeted a clock. And I'm like, okay, I guess that means he might be coming back soon. So it's not really a bench stash. He's an IR stash. Throw him in your IR if you got an IR spot. It don't hurt. It won't hurt. I mean, if he doesn't come back, he doesn't come back. But if he does, you got a weapon for the playoffs. So something to think about. And with that being said, that's our show for today. We'll be back. Same Avengers time, same Avengers channel. You got anything to tell them, Boulevard? Boulevard is freezing up again. You were freezing up again.
Oh.
You got anything to tell the people?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say I had one more, but
you got one more?
But
Who's your one more?
Yeah, I got one more. Xavier Leggett. He's got 17 targets and 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks.
Xavier Leggett should not be in your free agency. He should not.
27% rostered.
He should not be 27% rostered. I understand he had a rough couple weeks. Well, the last week that he played was rough, but he should not. The only way Xavier Leggett should not be on your roster is if you have a really good roster and you don't have any room for him.
Right.
But Leggett should be rostered by more than 27% of y'all.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, get Leggett on your rosters if you ain't got him. Get him on your rosters, especially if you're playing in deep leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Those targets will equal something going forward.
Deep leagues, dynasty leagues, go get him.
Yeah. Well, he's in all my dynasty leagues. He's already gaffled up. He got drafted. He got drafted.
Right.
So with that being said, that's our show. We'll see you guys again. You know.
Thank you for watching the Fantasy Football Avengers podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Links in the description.